And Junction is this venue you see here focusing on Southeast Asia. And I am very proud to be here today, not only because we are hosting an exhibition, a very important exhibition, but also because we have been responsible actually for creating this exhibition. Thank you to the trust of the Ship to Shore initiative, rights initiative, supported by LO and the European community. We were given the opportunity to engage with migrants here in Thailand who are working in the fishery industry and have them take picture of their life. So not only their work, but also what it means for them to be here in Thailand. And I think they have spoken very clear through the images as well as through the small text, the story they have written, which show very clearly that many of them have been in Thailand for 10, 20 years, even 30 years. They marry here, they have children here who are born here, they die here. You will see also there is a funeral. So their life is not only the hard work contributing economically to Thailand, but they contribute also socially, contributing with their life and mixing with the Thai population. And we, as the speaker also will reinforce the marriage, the message that we think more about integrating them into Thai society and not only as temporary migrants who come and go. So I will give the words now to the experts. We will start maybe from the photographer first to hear about, he didn't take the picture, let's be clear, but he facilitated the process of inviting the migrants to take picture of themselves together with the help of three interpreter outreach workers from the Human Rights Development Foundation. And they will introduce themselves and also tell us how they did it, because it's quite impressive, as you can see outside, what they have been able to accomplish with the 20 plus migrants. So please, Sayan, and then I will give.
I thought I would be the last to speak. I didn't expect to be the first one. Sorry. My name is Sayan Chun Udom Sawat. I'm a photographer, and for this project I work as the instructor who went to the area of the community of the migrant and talk to them and encourage them to use their phone to take a photo and tell the story of themselves. Yet, what I told them is just like we, we know each other, just like they are migrant, they're from neighborhood country, and they work in the fishery industry. That's all I know about them. But I encourage them to talk about themselves much more than that. So we know only that they work hard and they work for the fishery industry. They don't know how they live, how they enjoy what is it after work. Yeah, we just want to know another aspect of life of them. Yep. So I tell them to tell any story they want, and maybe you can see the exhibition already. That we have the story of the funeral. We have the story of the wedding ceremony, and we have the photo of New Year celebrating. Yep. I think that aspect of life is really interesting because we don't know. You see, we don't know that in the New Year's event, what are they doing in that event. So I just tell them that please tell us about that, and you see on the wall, right? That the story of them. Yep. And the main idea of this project is we try to know the migrant better. Like we just want to know how they live. We just want to know that how the other aspect of life of them. And sometimes we cannot list that. So it's better that they tell the story by themselves. Yep, that's the idea of this project. Yep, let me introduce JJ. JJ is one of our translator, and he may help me a lot to get into the community in Phuket. And also we have Pisang. She's from Cambodia, and she helped me to get into the Cambodian migrant in Chantaburi. Yep, let's hear JJ. Yep.
Okay, maybe experience. We tried first, and the proposal then is from ship to shore. Can tell the proposal we write. We will do a workshop, and we will get the migrants together, and then we will talk with the migrants. I think Sayan will talk with the migrants, and then they will go and do their story. Now that didn't work out really as planned. Also because migrants indeed have not much free time to attend workshop necessarily. So although there was a workshop and Sayan went, it didn't really produce the story as op. So it was really thanks to the help of the three translator. Unfortunately, one could not be there, who are trusted by the community and they can tell us. So they went to visit one by one the migrants. So really an individual approach. So let's hear more about this. Thank you.
Okay, my name is JJ. So I'm from Myanmar. So thank you for having me here. So I'm working with HRDS, Human Rights and Development Foundation, in Phuket office. So as a translator or an officers. So thank you, Jeff, for having me in this project as well. So it's really nice experience for me to do that, because I didn't have experience as for me, like about the art. So like we have like a lot to tell in the photo of the migrant worker that they took. So it's really really nice, and I am here to share about the migrant worker, as well as for me, I'm in the community. So we can see that in Phuket, so we know about tourism and enjoying your trip, and some are happy on the beach. But in the other at the other side, but a lot of migrant worker have many migrant worker has facing like their living standard and living like in the communities. How do they live, and how do they like to access to their rights, and like illegally or legally, and the other side, their family as well, like their children and or their like partner. So many like things that in happening in the other side of Phuket communities. So for the migrant worker that took these photos, so most of them are in the fisheries sector. So those are like some are from the some are fishermen really going to the sea, and some are like their housewife that are working like they have peeling the crabs, and then they have to bring it to the like shop owner and sell, like they got like wages from that not much, like 200 baht or 300 baht per days. And like some are the other things that they have to stay at home. As for housewife, they have to stay at home and looking after their children if they have children. So about the children that we are going that, so some children born in Thailand, they do not, some are not access to the like healthcare, educations. So there are a lot of problem about migrant worker as well. And also even the fishermen, they do have some problem about their document and living expense and like document causes that are too expensive for them. Even they got less wages. Like, so if you know about their wages, some really don't know about their wages, right? Some got like 9,000 baht per month or only 10,000 baht. Some got like it's too little for them because they have to like their life when they go to like to the sea. So we don't know what happened in the sea, right? So it really hard for them. Like you can see that the photo, they catching fish a lot and someone going into water. Sometimes accident happen whenever. So we didn't know that they didn't wear like safety, and then they are drawn in the water and we could not find it. So it's like lost person in the sea. And some people like they for about the migrant worker that in the fishery that they are ship owner that they keep worker like legal document like passport, work permit or whatever the document, even like ATM. But their employer said that they are trying to keep it for the migrant worker not to be lost or getting wet. It's like if it's wet, so that the document gonna be like cannot use anymore. Like, but sometimes they could not get the document from the employer because they could not go anywhere. They have to stay around the community. And the other things is that for the migrant children, so I give you some detail about that. So some children do not have any birth certificate because of their parents do not have any document to apply birth certificate in Thailand, even they born in the hospitals. So it is from that they had it had to go to the school. So if without document, so there's like some school did not accept them to enter to enroll in the school. So some we do have like learning center from like NGO, so, but it's really not too much. It's only one or two places for the migrant children. So because now because of a political crisis from Myanmar, so a lot of children are coming to Thailand with their parents. So it's difficult for like some school that they because of the population of the children is getting increased, right? So there no place to study. So a lot of children in when we go to the community for this project, we saw that a lot of children are playing around in the community, like more than 10 children, like without I'm going ask them that did you go to school? They said no. They are like under 10 years old. A lot of children are playing around in the community. If we like talking about the children all from the sectors, it's more than almost 10,000 children are in the Phuket. So but we didn't get any like specific like amount of children yet. So it's difficult to collect the data from that as well. So you can see some photo from like hospital that children are going hospital, right? So even their parents have document. So like if children has some like diseases, so it's difficult to apply healthcare like insurance. They call health insurance for children, migrant children. So the hospital are gonna give you like a reason that they have like sick diseases that cannot apply this health insurance, right? So but actually for the children they have a policy that they didn't mention about the diseases that that cannot apply this health. So we have to like fight with the officer sometimes, but we do not want to do case by case. Actually, we have to like, so when we solve the case, we want to do like, okay, other children, so can apply as well. We would like to do that. So okay, I have less. Okay, to conclude my speaking. So even we are all human beings, right? So we can see that some people have their scared to do, like some are interested in the photos, taking photos. Some are like tattoo. Some are like they want to go in studying, and some children want to be a doctor as well. So we can see a lot of like from this exhibition that migrant workers have interest like us. So they have in their mind they want to, but opportunity that they have no chance to do that. A lot of things. The last one, so we do have, so I have some like fact sheet that from HRDF that we did project. So you can, but it is in Thai only. So we gonna print out in English later. So if you can read Thai, you can take from the registration counters. So thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing the experience. And I am sure later on there will be also question, and maybe our friend from Cambodia can also contribute to the discussion later on. For now, we go to Ben Harkins, who is in charge of the Ship to Shore Rights Initiative, and he can tell us more about the Ship to Shore program and also about the exhibition.
Thanks, Leah. And yeah, I wanted to start by just thanking everyone for coming today. I wanted to welcome you all to the photo exhibition. As you see, it's titled Not Just Labor, Migrant Photo Voices from Thailand's Fisheries Sector. This is an exhibition and panel discussion that, of course, has been organized by our friends at Junction. In partnership with the ILO Ship to Shore Rights Southeast Asia program, which is funded by the European Union. I also wanted to thank, of course, our friends from Human Rights and Development Foundation, from the Foundation for Education and Development, as well as from academia, and of course, Kun Sayan for helping with the photography. So the photos you see in the exhibit were taken by Cambodian and Myanmar migrant workers in Phuket, in Chantaburi and Phang Nga provinces of Thailand. They really document the lives of migrants, not only in the workplace, but also their personal, emotional, and creative aspects of who they are. The pictures show how they view their own lives and experiences in Thailand, as opposed to, sometimes how they are wrongly perceived by others. And I think what these photos really represent is what migrants really want to say about themselves through the work. That's a very important thing, because the opportunities for migrants to really express themselves are unfortunately very rare. When they come to work in the Thai fishing and seafood processing sectors, they're allowed to enter the country for the very specific purpose of filling jobs that many Thai workers don't want to do. That creates a relationship with the government, with their employers, with their coworkers, with the Thai society as a whole, where their value is really measured by how they contribute on the fishing boat and how they contribute on the factory floor. But what we know, of course, is that migrants are not only workers. They are human beings, and they bring with them rich cultures, unique perspectives, and deep family and social connections that should be valued and respected. If migrants are only viewed as a source of cheap labor to support the Thai economy, we will never reach a point where they receive the basic respect, dignity, and human rights that all people deserve. There's a very famous quote from the work of playwright Max Frisch who once wrote about the treatment of migrant workers in Switzerland post World War II. We wanted workers, but human beings came. And that is really the crux of the matter in Thailand as well. There's a need to move towards a greater recognition of the full depth of the humanity, capability, and creativity that migrant workers bring to this country, rather than simply viewing them instrumentally as filling labor needs. And in particular, what we see is there's long been a major gap in the Thai policy framework that keeps them in a constant state of precarity, because they're only granted a very short-term permission to stay and work in Thailand. And as you can see from the photo exhibition, many migrants have actually now been living in Thailand for several decades. If they're ever truly to be at home here, they need to be viewed no longer as only temporary workers, but as being permanent residents of the country. And to keep them perennially unsure whether they can remain in the country, it's not only a narrow-minded policy, but I also want to point out it is actually very short-sighted policy. It does not acknowledge that many migrants are going to be needed in the long term because of Thailand's demographic transition towards an aged society. In fact, Thailand's elderly population is going to increase to nearly 28% during the next decade. And at that point, it's going to become what is termed a super aged society. Of course, achieving greater acceptance of migrant workers, it's a very difficult issue. And Thailand is far from unique in that regard. All over the world, we're seeing a rise in xenophobia and discriminatory attitudes towards migrants. It's actually an issue that the International Labor Organization has been working on since its founding more than 100 years ago. And I think what that speaks to is just how challenging it is to successfully integrate migrants into destination countries. However, one of our founding principles is that labor is not a commodity. And that has to be applied equally to migrant workers if we're ever to make real progress towards social justice. Since this photo exhibit is about fisheries, I also want to take the opportunity to raise some specific concerns about the political reform process that is now underway in Thailand. As I'm sure many of you know, the Thai fishing and seafood processing sectors have really been a key flashpoint of global concern about exploitation of migrant workers during the last decade. As attention to supply chains and the sourcing of consumer products has increased, there were at the same time very widespread reports emerging about forced labor and human trafficking of migrants on fishing vessels in Thailand. And in response to that, Thailand has implemented a wide range of new policies and improved enforcement to help protect migrants since 2014. And it's really evident that indeed there has been important progress made to improve the working and living conditions of migrants since those reforms were put in place. But it's also clear that there's really a lot more work to be done to ensure that these problems with exploitation and abuse of migrant workers in the Thai fishing industry are really a thing of the past. However, what I want to raise tonight is that since the last election, the Thai government has actually taken steps to roll back several of the key fisheries reforms in order to unlock the potential of the fishing sector. And that's been supported by extensive lobbying by private sector business interests. But what it's led to is draft legislation that we see now being considered in Thailand that would reinstate many of the policies that we've seen previously in Thailand that really placed migrants at risk. That includes things like reducing the regulation of crew lists on board fishing vessels, allowing for at-sea transfer of migrant crew members to other boats, and relaxed restrictions on distant water fishing. All of these things, yes, in themselves, they're not exploitation, but they are practices that increase the risk of exploitation for migrant workers. If indeed further progress is going to be made in Thailand to improve conditions for migrants, we really should be considering adopting and implementing more protective policies towards migrant workers, not less. In particular, I want to highlight the critical need for migrant workers to be provided with their fundamental rights to freedom of association and collective bargaining. Allowing migrants to organize is really key to achieving a more equitable power relation between migrant workers and their employers in Thailand. If we're going to achieve sustainable progress towards decent work in Thailand's fishing sector, it's going to require that migrants are provided with the right to form their own democratic and representative labor unions so that they can bargain with their employers. Until their right to organize is formally recognized, what we see is that migrant workers in the Thai fishing and seafood processing sectors have formed their own worker organizations under the umbrella of Thai trade unions and CSOs. For example, the Migrant Workers' Rights Network and the Fisheries Rights Network, these are membership-based organizations that have been organizing migrants into peer networks. And that's really important, but unfortunately, they currently operate in a legal gray area, and that heavily constrains their ability to really reach legally binding collective bargaining agreements between migrants and employers. With that in mind, it's really essential that Thailand move to ratify ILO Conventions 87 and 98 to allow these organizations to be formally recognized as trade unions in Thailand. As the photographs in this exhibition clearly show, there's still a lot more work that we need to do to improve the living and working conditions for migrant workers in Thailand's fishing and seafood processing sectors. What we hope is that this exhibition will help to raise awareness of the rich social and cultural contributions that migrant workers make to this country. And in particular, we want to show that that extends far beyond the workplace. The ILO and the European Union remain fully committed to working with all stakeholders in Thailand to improve the treatment of migrant workers, as well as for migrant workers across Southeast Asia. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions later on.
Thank you, Ben. I should add that there is also an Indonesia component to this. So there are two countries at the moment. So this is the first exhibition. There will be another one focusing on Indonesia, in Indonesia probably, and also which is about Indonesian fishermen on large long-haul vessels in Taiwan, Chinese, and other kind of country vessels. And there, the hardship story comes even stronger than what we have heard here. Here, indeed, in this exhibition, is more about the life. It can be a challenging life, but at the same time, it's a full life, as you can see from the photograph. Now we are going beyond the project with two people who are very suitable for this topic. Ajahn Sureeporn from the Institute for Population and Social Science. She has been working on migration, I think, for at least 3 or 4 decades. But at least 3 decades, a long time, and she has always been advocating for more integration of migrant worker in Thailand. So we will hear from her, and then Tuchit, I don't think he needs much introduction, but again, he has been with his foundation, FAD. He has been advocating for the rights of migrants for also a long 2 decades at the least. So please, let's start from Ajahn Sureeporn, and then we conclude the panel and open for question and answer.
So thank you very much and good evening. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Rosalia that you have did a wonderful job on this. And then I think that it is not easy. It's always very, very difficult every time that we do the project. As I'm the researcher, that normally we just do the field work, going to interview and then do the data collection and then have the report writing. But when we saw the photo, somehow we do not need to write a lot because the photo that tell us everything that their life. And then this is that I would like to add a bit about my feeling when I go through all the photos in this exhibition. No, I would like to add the another angle that I normally found among the migrants. That the first is about the culture, the religious. That normally as a people from our neighboring country, like the Myanmar, Cambodian, Laos, and even the Vietnamese, some that we are Buddhist, like Thai. So that's why every time that almost every time that I went to the temples in Thailand, I found that there are many of the migrant workers that they came to make merit at the temple. And then especially for the Myanmar people, they wear their traditional dress. This is that in almost every place that they went to for the merit making. No? And then this is that we found another thing that during the past 2-3 years, there are many people from Myanmar that migrate to Thailand, and then they become a monk. They ordain in Thailand. That's I think some guys that escape from the situation in Myanmar. So and then this is on the other hand is make the migrants they says that they impressed with when they met with the monk that they can communicate with, and then they said that I just quote what they said: the more we make merit with monks, we can communicate with the more it becomes a source of the spiritual support for them. So this is that why we feel that they bring another landscape to our Thai society. And then this is not just only the Thai appreciate the migrant, and also we always did the merit making together, like during the Loi Krathong or the Songkran day that they went, and then we just making together. That this is the other aspect that I saw. Then about the duration of living, I found that in this exhibition, many people live here for more than 30 years. And then this is very common when I went to the field work, particularly in Mahachai and also in Mae Sot. So I found that some migrants, they came alone and then they met with their wife or husband in Thailand. They married and then they set up a family, and then we have the children who were born in Thailand. And some came with their nuclear family that they took the couple with the children, and then gradually they brought their family, other family members, and then also their relatives. So it's become the extended family in Thailand. So this is that we 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 are not leave them without to go by themselves, or this is the Thai society. And then in the neighborhood, I know that they know all the people in that neighborhood, including Thai people. So this is that the fact that I observe. And then I recently I work with the urban refugee. I found that the urban refugee normally they are not the people who wish to stay long term in Thailand, because they just came for the asking for the asylum seeker, and then I found that many of them stay more than 10 years, and then these people particularly came from Cambodia and Vietnam. So they came here with their family since they were very young, and then now they grown up in Thailand. So these people, they have less chance to go to the third country as well, because they are not success in applying for the refugee and the asylum seeker. So, and then these people, they cannot go back to their country. So these people that we think that we should take much care to these people as well, because many people came, they came with the visa, and but because of the delay in the process, they become the overstay visa, and then they have to be under the immigration law of Thailand. So this is the life, another part of the migrant workers, the urban refugee. So this is that I would like to echo more on the end of this exhibition, that we said that we need the migration integration policy in Thailand. So this is this life that we saw is about the social and culture. And then this is because normally when we talk about the integration, we usually look at 4 dimension: economics, and then social, culture, and politics that you mentioned a bit. So this is this one that I think Thailand has been. We didn't have the integration policy formally yet, no. But what I observed, that what Thailand did is that they, one dimension of the integration policies on economics, but that when they try to register the migrant and then manage the migrant worker, this is somehow of the one dimension of the integration. But anyway, this still have a lot of gaps that happen in the process of the economics integration as well. So, but in terms of the social and culture, I can see that one thing is about the social, is about the education for the children, and then the accessing to the healthcare. So this is that what they do. But the other thing is about the culture and social, that they didn't have any formal program or initiative to promote the integration of migrant worker in Thailand. So that's what we need to do. Yeah.
Very important message, which resonates with me. Trying to get a permanent resident in Thailand is such an headache that you cannot imagine. But let's go forward with our last speaker of today, Tuchit, please.
Good evenings. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Tuchit. I'm the executive director of the Foundation for Education and Development. We are working for the promotion and protection of the migrant worker rights in Thailand. We are main office based in southern Thailand. So I just said the our like a speaker, they already share about their policy and their some the ground experience. I also would like to add, based on our based on our ground experience and what the Myanmar Myanmar's the citizen, we also very closely working with our society in Thailand. That when we start working in the Thailand and past near the border in Chantaburi province. After the in tsunami in 2004, we moved to the southern Thailand. Now currently that we base. It is a lot of the fishery industry. Also that we working not only for the Phang Nga province, also Phuket, Krabi, Suratani, Ranao, and others, the southern province as well. What we found is, I also that this photo exhibition, I'm very interested for that they are tighter. That means they're not just labor. It is very powerful meaning that I trust because when we want in the southern Thailand just after tsunami, that a lot of the migrant workers they are even they are the tsunami victim, they be discriminated by not only for the society, also in some Indonesian as well. At that time, a lot of the NGO are mostly working on the others, the foreigner or sometimes the tsunami victim. We are the migrants, they are ignored. At the time, also we are living another military regime. There's a region I also wrote the forgotten tsunami victim, something like that I present in Geneva in 2006, something like this kind of title. So we are the people are always talking about the migrant worker rights or labor right exploitation, human trafficking, child labor, domestic work. But beyond that, we also should learn about their social situation in their community. This is the most important, I thought. And or most of you are journalists or some, the academic or some student, that after the military regime in 2021, February, so this means that our people, especially the young people, forced to leave from the country. So we can say like that some people they voted for the popular democracy movement, or some of them also working at the exile, especially in Thailand. After that, the 2001, the before in the migrant worker only in the who are looking for the job and they are looking for their future lives in Thailand. But after the 2021, some Myanmar people we call them miss the migration. It is also a lot of our professional. They came into Thailand, like as a journalist or like some university teacher or researcher or medical doctor or medical nurse. It is what we found it. It is also that according to the Thai law, Thai government they only allow Myanmar migrant to work for something like around 23 jobs, something like that, regarding with the services, regarding with the dangerous, domestic, difficult, just everybody. So what we found is I would like to just a little bit more focus on the fishery industry. It's like the social security. Is that we found it. Can we say that I working for some migrant development, migrant worker rights for over 2 decades? What we found is like honestly, in Thailand, fishermen situation in Thailand is getting better. It means that it's in my own experience that compared with the last 2 or 3 decades and now. So, but they still needed to amend their some, the protection, some the policy. So, because especially for the social security, it is a very, very important issue for the migrants, migrant fishermen industry. It's also the one thing is like the undocumented, documented, like the most of the employer, they confiscate or they keep their document. That the reason is they're going to be the loss, or that some of them are they didn't pay for their debt to the employer, or they are brokers. So it is also we can say like it is the broking the some Thai law, because of migrants. Some the fishermen, they have never received their documented. So because of their employer keep it. Although we found that we still have some Thai laborers in the fishery industry, but not only on the boat, but on the shore. Like there's some, some they are the gathering some the fish, dividing some, that some making for the sun dry fish, or something like this kind of setup they still using. But in the the Burmese, we can speak some, the Thai authority or some researcher, they ask for the how old are you, and that they will say you that they are 18 years, 19 years. It is their reality is they are 14 years, 15. That we know it, because of some workers are also the former our student. We are running for the 2 migrant school in southern Thailand. One is in Kolaburi, it's like the fishery in this near the fishery village, and one is Takopa in Kikat. It's also the children from the fishery industry and rubber plantation and tourist industry as well. So, and little bit detail. And also that we also found it something like Italy's migrants dependence. It's also, that due to that they are linked of the social security, the migrants, the fishermen, they didn't have any, the social security benefit. When they ordered, even they are working in the fishery industry for over 2 decades, or they almost, they are nearly 60 years, so they didn't have any pension or any, the social benefit or some compensation. It is the last week, our in Phang Nga Labor Department and the Thai Red Cross, they distributed some food item to the the migrant who are facing or jobless, or some the migrant who are living with HIV/AIDS. Some days, so we found it that a lot of migrants, the elderly, they still depend on the family member or some the civil society organization. So, and that's I also very concerned for the education. It is very important because of Myanmar people, especially young people, age between 18 to 35, because of the government, they asking for the people to be the military service. They got conscription law in the last February. So it is the migrant to force to the exile or forced to leave from the country. The currently that we found it that a lot of the undocumented migrants, they cross the Thailand with the many way, like some people call the natural way. It means that they try to contact with the broker, or even the some of them are victim of the humans, the trafficking that we found out today. And also a lot of the migrant inmate in the police station and immigration detention center, that because in the inmate are very crowded, and then the consequence of the crowded, the migrant inmate who are living in detention center are facing a lot of problems, especially the hygiene, or some some disease they are suffering in the cell, the many different, or the immigration or the police station. So, and before the migrant, they came, before the 2001, the military coup. So most of them, they came that to walking. They left their children at their village, or they are allowed to live in with their relatives, especially their parents or grandfathers or grandmother. But after the 2001, they brought their children to Thailand, because in Myanmar, we had the many, the very complicated for, like this, some the teacher or some, that they involved the CDM movement or the most of the school closed. So because of that, I found out this is in 2000, before 2001, one of our school, we only had the 335 or something like the children. The currently we had the one school is around the 700. The other school that before that we have the only for the around the 100 student and now the 200 students. It means the student population is double. It means that not only our migrant FED ran it, not only the FED ran it the migrant school, also for the other migrant school as well. We also the working for the migrant school network in Thailand. So every school in the Phang Nga or Southern Thailand or Mesa or Ranong, every school the migrant the student population are increasing. We also that in our foundation we making the education for two programs. One is we running for the migrant learning center, and other is we try to we had the integration program. We try to apply Thai government policy, Thai government education policy. See in the 2005, the education for all, regardless of the children who are living in Thailand, they have the right to study in the Thai government school. But it is reality is also the migrant are the suffering a lot of the problem, because we advocate. But in our, I also the proud to say, prepare of the Phang Nga province and the government official in the Phang Nga. I do appreciate it because we are very very closely working with them. And then in last year we already sent over 504 students in the 42 the Thai government school in the Phang Nga province from the primary to the university. But the other province they still the problem with the Thai government school. So that is already last in February, Thai Minister of Education, they announced again, to the Thai government school to accept the migrant school because of some school that they refuse because of you have the no birth certificate or your parent is not didn't have any document. It is not reason because of regardless, migrants children have to the study in the Thai school. It is my also concern. And what is my recommendation is like as the agent said, we also stay needed for the advocate, and not only for the Thai government, also for the Thai business industry or even the Thai general public. They also need to understand about the migrant situation in Thailand. The migrants are providing also the development of the Thai economic system, and also that we also encourage our migrant to support it and to provide some the positive image to the Thai society as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I think it was a very interesting overview of the issue, the life of migrants, the realities of long-term migration, and not only temporary. So I am sure there will be comments and questions. Who wants to start? Raise your hand. I know. Okay. Introduce yourself. I will take 3 questions and then the speaker will comment and then. So please, wait. It's because of the life.
Okay, my name is Paul. I'm living in Mae Sot, mostly involved with asylum seekers since the coup, as well as things in Myanmar as well. I'm interested with the Rohingya on the fisheries. Do you get many Rohingya on the fishing boats or not? And a lot of the new migrants, from what you're saying, I gather, I just want to confirm, are they going into the fisheries as well, the new migrants, or not? I know there's a lot of Mae Sot, they're in the factories and things like that, but are a lot of them getting on the fishing boats as well? So it's Rohingya, and also generally, is there a big increase on the fishing boats since the coup and because of the violence of the Myanmar military?
Okay, let's see if there are other questions before we We'll take two more. No one? Okay, then we go to the Rohingya first, please. I mean, anyone?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for your question. We are also I also share that we are as I told you before that we are based in the southern Thailand. You know, the last 20 years, around 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, a lot of Rohingya came into Thailand through our nearby our area. But my experience, the Rohingya coming to, they are, you know, the destination is to like the Malaysia or other, not to Thailand. That's why I didn't see the after or before the Rohingya people are working in the fishery industry. Not the, I mean they're not on the boat, but some of them, the women, they working the fishery industry, but not the boat. But regarding for the general migration after the 2001, because in Thailand as the fishery industry is you know that they can have that they can open every time for the registration process. This is a very interesting. So that why I can confirm you that the new migrant, I mean the new arrival after 2001, they also working on the fishery industry because they more easy to register. For example, now that maybe you come in, the new arrival, you cannot register for the construction or hotel tourism because of Thai government, they didn't open yet for the new registration process. But the fishery is yet. You can. Thank you. Yeah. Pink card, we call that first a name list. You know, after the pink card, after that the CI, it is the process. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. No, they're good questions. I mean, I think we have not seen a major population of Rohingya working on fishing vessels. Of course, you know, it is quite challenging for Rohingya to remain in Thailand. And of course, they don't have citizenship in Myanmar, and that precludes them going through the full national verification process in Thailand. So for the most part, what we see for Rohingya in Thailand is that they do informal sector jobs. Of course, very famously as roti sellers. That's something a lot of people note. But it's relatively difficult for them to complete the process of MV, national verification in Thailand. And because the boats now are being checked in the port out, port in process, they do have to have documentation to be on the vessel. So I would say it's pretty rare from our experience. Of course, it can happen for migrants with irregular status, but I think it's rare. In terms of new arrivals, I mean, I don't think we've seen a huge influx. I don't know anything to kind of disagree with what Tuchit has said, but I mean, I think generally speaking, what we've seen with the new arrivals is that there is a policy to try to kind of keep them in the periphery, as you know very well, in Mae Sot, and so it's a little bit more difficult for them to get to port areas in some cases to work in the fishing sector. That's not to say it isn't happening. But yeah, I mean, generally what we see in the fishing sector now in terms of the sort of overarching picture of the labor market is that there are big shortages, and there has not been a huge influx of migrants into the fishing sector. Thanks.
Any other comment? As far as a little bit, many also group in the southern part of Thailand, Patani and Malaysia, right? So it's a little bit different from the photograph that we show today, which have been taken Phuket, Chantaburi. So, but from the stories, yeah, it seems also religion, another religion, and also to cross to Malaysia. So Patani, and also, as you know, the horrible case of a Rohingya were found in the southern part of Thailand, killed Rohingya a few years ago. So yeah, that area is probably also there on the fishing industry, plantation and other jobs. So probably we need to do more research about this. But I open again the floor. Okay, please. Thank you.
I have a question about integration or assimilation, whatever the term is the correct one. And it's bothered me quite a bit. We've done some work in Trat and Chantaburi, where there are a lot of Cambodian workers. And at that time, there were some NGOs that started centers, learning centers for children. And one of the challenges was maintaining their identity in terms of language, but at the same time assimilating into Thai society. And so that balance, I think, is very, very crucial. And also, what will you do with the children if and when their parents have to go back or they have to go back to their own country if the necessity comes up, right? So my question has to do with what do you think would be a sustainable policy with regards to the children, the education of migrant workers' children? Because it's very important that it cannot be just a short-term fix. It needs to be something more sustainable, and it's the future. I mean, it's their future that's at stake.
Okay, other questions? Otherwise, I also want to give an opportunity before we answer to our Cambodian friend, maybe to share. Oh, you speak Thai? Okay, good. Someone will translate for you. Okay, I cannot. One more question. Oh, sorry. Okay, the question first. please.
Thank you. I'm just curious. There is a situation going on in Myanmar, and I understand that will impact the border of the countries. So I wonder if there are any impacts that could happen in the ship to shore or the sea part or the
Fishing.
southern part of Thailand as well. That's what I'm curious. Thank you.
Okay. So what will be the impact of what is happening in Myanmar now on the migration to the fishing, ship to shore, or southern part of Thailand? That is. Okay, I go back to, please, where is the translator? Gap? Okay, so
สวัสดีค่ะ ชื่อซังรีนะคะ เป็นชาวกัมพูชาค่ะ เป็นตัวแทนของแรงงานข้ามชาติสางเครือข่ายของจังหวัดจันทบุรีและระยอง
Hi, my name is Sangri, and I am the representative of the migrant network from Chantaburi and Rayong. Yeah.
ขอบคุณมากค่ะ วันนี้ในที่ใดข่าวมาในกิจกรรมของวันนี้ ที่เคยไปลงพื้นที่กับคนเทียบนะคะ ที่ไปถ่ายรูปแรงงานแล้วก็เล่าเรื่องในเรื่องภาพข้างนอกอะค่ะ ที่รายเรื่องของแรงงานข้ามชาติของชาวกัมพูชาค่ะ
She thanks for this special opportunity and her experience, and thanks for her experience with, especially with the photographer, Mr. Sayan Najib, to give her this opportunity and her feature in the photos on the New Year's party of Cambodia.
ค่ะแรงงานข้ามชาติของชาวกัมพูชานะคะเขามาอยู่ประเทศไทยหลายคนนะคะ ในชีวิตประจำวันของเขาก็จะมีกิจกรรมต่างๆที่เขาสร้างรวมกันนะคะ
So there are many Cambodian migrants who live in Thailand. So like many there are many people many numbers of Cambodian migrants who are living in Thailand, and like she is part of them, and they also have their activities, their life, their routines within Thailand.
ในภาพข้างนอกนะคะก็จะมีภาพที่เล่าให้ถึงชีวิตชาวประมงนะคะความเป็นอยู่ของชาวประมงที่อยู่บนเรือแล้วก็ติดต่อกับครอบครัวที่อยู่ฝั่งนะคะ
So in that picture, they also include their life on the boat on the fishing ship, the bush fishing vessel, where they are like working and how they connected with their family in their homeland on the shore when they're offshore.
เขาจะมีการใช้ชีวิตประจำวันก็จริงๆแล้วก็ต้องมีคนที่นำพวกเขาทำกิจกรรมต่างๆเหมือนที่เขาจะอยู่เหมือนว่าเขาจะมีกิจกรรมการแต่งงานในประเทศไทยก็จะมีภาพเราที่เขาถ่ายเองเก็บไว้ในโทรศัพท์แต่ละเครื่องนะคะ
Normally they have so many activities within Thailand. It's also include like weddings, ceremony, and they will also have their own picture within their cell phones. Yeah.
แล้วก็จะมีกิจกรรมถึงในการอยู่ชีวิตประจำวันแล้วก็จะมีถึงการที่เสียชีวิตอะค่ะเขาเสียชีวิตในเมืองไทยแล้วเราก็จะพากันทำศพที่วัดที่อยู่ไกลๆกับชุมชนนะคะ
A part of their normal routines in their life, they also include a picture of the funerals and that the death of migrant worker. And there is also a funeral ceremony which they hold at their temple, which is very near to their communities.
แล้วก็จะมีภาพกิจกรรมในวันสำคัญเหมือนวันปีใหม่เนี่ยเขาจะพากันเล่นกิจกรรมต่างๆในกลุ่มของแรงงานเองนะคะแต่ก็ต้องมีคนที่รวมกันแล้วก็ในพื้นที่ก็จะพากันให้เข้าถึงความสนุกสนานในแต่ละงานของประเพณีที่เหมือนประเพณีของประเทศที่ใหญ่ๆอะค่ะในบุญสำคัญนะปีใหม่อะค่ะมีกิจกรรมปีใหม่อะก็จะมีคนพาเล่นอะค่ะพาเล่นแล้วก็รวมกันทำกิจกรรมเหมือนให้กระตุ้นให้เขามีความสนุกสนานแล้วก็มีความอบอุ่นในการที่เขาย้ายถิ่นมาย้ายมาในประเทศที่ไม่ใช่ประเทศของตนเองอะค่ะ
So like during their New Year's event, they also hold New Year's event and New Year's ceremony, and there are also some migrants who try to like use that network and invite all the Cambodian migrants within Thailand to celebrate together, and in order to find like joys and like during the last New Year party. ใช่ไหม
ค่ะจริงๆแล้วการย้ายถิ่นค่ะอยู่ในไม่ใช่ประเทศต้นทางไม่ใช่ประเทศเราเองมันก็จะมีความยากมากในการที่จะทำกิจกรรมอันหนึ่งที่ให้มีความสนุกสนานแต่เราก็พยายามกันเพื่อให้ชีวิตมีค่าในประเทศที่เรามาหาเงินนะคะ
Like she said that to be honest, during the migration process, it is very difficult to find some happiness or joy or holding celebration. It is very difficult to reach out like whole and like for them to celebrate to come together. But still, because they have to finding money, they are busy with like their works. But still, they are success in holding the ceremonies together.
ขอบคุณทุกคนนะคะและขอโทษด้วยที่พูดอังกฤษไม่ได้เพราะว่าเรียนได้น้อยมากอะค่ะขอบคุณนะคะ
Thank you, everybody.
Well, I am admired you talk Thai so well. English is much easier than Thai, I can tell. from my experience. So, but this is air. I don't know if it is this one. Oh no, this one. Yeah. Okay, so you can see air on the wall there, and the party and hundreds of Cambodian were there, but not only Cambodia, interesting, also from Myanmar and Thai, and some married with each other, etc. So it's very interesting to read the story. It's also interesting to read what I learned, that that area was first a lot of Burmese, but now it's a lot of Cambodia because the Burmese have moved to other areas. So that is also something I learned by reading the story. So please comment on the two questions we have had on the education, what is a sustainable integration policy, and then also about the impacts of the current events in the fishery industry in the South.
Yeah, I could not say uh, uh, whether it's sustainable or not, no? But in recently that we allow the student, the migrant student to study in the Thai school. So this is one thing. This is about the language. That's the problem at the beginning. And then we found that the student could not the children could not understand Thai. But anyway, the Thai school or even the NGO that they try to have the language class, the Thai language class. So this is that the way that this one that they can integrate into Thai society. And the NGO that they have the learning center that they teach the language. This is one thing that related to the education. But anyway, that what I see is that in the education, not just only the academic, but they should try to provide some of the occupation or the what they want to do in the future. And then I found that many they teach on the computer skill or some many occupations that they can survive in Thailand. And Thailand also they have the policy. I could not see that this is the policy or not, that if the migrant worker they got under the bachelor degree in Thailand, so that they can apply for the long term migrant, or not the citizen, no, but can apply for the long term migrant in the country. But this one that we need to work more on this kind of the dimension. Thank you.
For your question, what impact after the coup, right? Actually, as for my experience, so I live in Thailand more than 15 years, but I work only really working with migrant worker more than 2 years. So as for my experience, that the impact from the military coup, that in Phuket, so there is a lot of like new like new generation from Myanmar, that I saw a lot of new migrant worker coming from Myanmar after the coups, after the policy changing age between 18 to 35 have to do military service, right? There are a lot of in Phuket town. I saw that with like some are coming with like tourist visa, some are no document at all, and so they stay with their parents. And also the population of the children is really increases. So like one landing center, so without like without permission, they open it and they have to close it down because that place, so they inform to the authority and something like they do not have permission or whatever they said. So they have to close it down. And from that time, so children have nowhere to like nowhere to study, so have to stay at home in the room. Some children have to stay by themselves in the room, so without their parents. So their parent has to go to the work, right? So it's really dangerous for these children and like teenagers. So as for the education, so in Phuket, it's like the population of the children really increasing, and like for the like you mentioned before, that the aging society of time is really getting increased. And like for my point of view, they didn't change the policy for the migrant worker to get to the education. So in the future, in next 10 years, it's gonna have a problem. So if they let migrant worker to stay like this level of the this kinds of situation. So it would be better if they change in policy for the education and to develop like to migrant skills in some way, so they can do a lot more things, and they can use this population to like for their benefit, for time benefit. What my point of view, it really, it would be better if they can change in policy for the migrant workers all around in Thailand, not only in Phuket. Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, I would like to add some comment for the regarding for the student. She asked for the the consequence of the military regime in Myanmar. It is we are the mostly affected. We can see very clearly that also as I told you before, that not only the regular migration, also for the son of our professional migrant are in Thailand. Even the son, the son teacher who holding the master degree of the education, she working in Thai and Chantaburi, because of we interviewed yesterday to appoint it at our school. So something like this kind of story are all over the country. That we the 2021 the military coup is also the affected to the migration, mass migration, we can say. And the others, our sister, she asked for the education for the sustainable. Is it also that I would like to share? Is because we are also the strongly believe, the education is the migrants, our future, and the future of our country. That because of the many hundred of thousands of the Myanmar young people, they migrate not only in Thailand, also to the others, the neighboring country as well. So we can say like the Thai, the Thai education policy on migration is, we can it's stable, this how can we say, we can work on it. But the problem is that even the sometimes the local authority, some of them, I mean, they don't know that exactly what is that they are Thai policy, because it is our experience. We advocate in southern Thailand in 2006 and 7. It was provided by the Plan International regarding with the advocacy to aware about the Thai government official and the Thai general public to know about their policy. Because Thai government school, they had the committee with their parents and others, the Thai, the teachers and committee. Some, that maybe some of them, they are not agree, that they are children to study together with the migrant. We fought it, and then when we advocate, then we explain why we are here. Why did why we coming from Myanmar? And we also try to provide it to develop for their society, something like that. There is a reason in the Phang Nga program is like the model of the migrant education. So, and also I also concerned, the last year in the Anton district, not far from here, over the 100 migrant students, they have been arrested and they deported back to the near the border in Chiang Rai. And also on the 2019, over the 1,000 students in we call the Ranong Thani, the policeman, he running the migrant school in the Ranong. So they have been arrested, and then the teacher have been arrested and deported back to Myanmar. It's also I also found out it's like the both problems. Some, some organization or some individual who running for the education, they also have to understand about what is the Thai government policy on the migration. They also the important. That is a reason we also encourage whoever, like some organization, international organization, or some, the civil society organization who run for the migrant running center. We also concern with that they are employers, the local authority, and then some, the most of the, the people also they allow, us to run because sometimes, the according to the Thai law, that we cannot open for the migrant school. We call the migrant learning center. We are prepared for the Thai language to our people. After that, every year we send to the Thai school from the, the primary to, the grade 6, 7, that depend on their Thai language scale. So that's why I encourage that we should, every migrant learning center, we should recruit the Thai teacher. It is also important because we don't want to, the barrier at the Thai school. Because of when you are the new arrival, the migrant student, if they study in Thai school, they also have some language barrier. So there is a reason we prepare first our children to prepare for the Thai language, and after that we send to the Thai school. I mean that it is most sustainable, and also we also encourage at the same time the parents, the parents to allow that their children to study in Thai school, because of that honestly that most of the migrant workers, when their children age around 15 or 16, they encourage them to work at the Thai labor. It also our own challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, you want to?
Sure. Yeah, no, just to speak to the question about the impact of the coup on migration flows, particularly into the fishing sector. I think it's a critical question. I think the point that Tuchit made during his presentation is as usual, right on point. I think what we've seen is it's made the migration flows to Thailand much more complex. They really are mixed migration flows. I think prior to the coup, most of it was pretty clearly labor migration for the most part, and now we see quite a range of reasons why people are leaving Myanmar and coming to Thailand. Of course, there still are the economic reasons, and there are massively decreased jobs and livelihoods in Myanmar, but you also see, of course, very widespread armed conflict and human rights abuses against Myanmar people. And those are increasingly reasons why people are coming to Thailand, as well as, of course, recently the forced conscription policy, which for young people is front and center in terms of concerns about their future. And many of them are looking for ways to be somewhere else for the time being. So all of those are increasingly important reasons that people are going abroad. And the research that we've done is that the impact on migration is that, the regular channels already were fairly underused. They didn't work very well. Now there's a huge range of brokerage services that are necessary for migrants to come to Thailand. And that is a problem because it does really increase the costs involved for them. Even if you want to get a passport in Thailand, in Myanmar, you have to go through a broker to get a spot in the queue, or else you're going to wait a very long period of time to get your passport. So these kinds of increasingly complex steps involved in the migration process really have made it more difficult for migrants. It's more precarious for them to come here. Many of them have to pay a lot more than they used to. I don't think we can say for sure we've seen major impacts in the fishing sector specifically, but I think broadly speaking, you see massively increased migration from Myanmar to Thailand. And I think that it in fact impacts on all sectors of employment. I don't think the fishing sector is separate from what's happening across the country in terms of large increases in migrants coming. Thanks.
one comment related to that, because migrants also, if you see the story, migrants choose between jobs, and the fishing sector is considered from the comments heavy sector. They would prefer the tourist industry or construction or other, but the pay is less. So sometimes it's a trade-off between higher pay but harder work. But you will see that some work in two sectors at the same time too, because the fishing is not for the full year, it's maybe for a few months, and then they work in construction for the rest, or domestic work and fishing. So this is quite interesting also to understand better how they juggle and choose between different kind of sector. But for sure, if the fishing sector is not made more human in terms of occupational requirement, they may lose workers too, because they will opt for other sectors. But the last question for Sayan from the social media actually is the concluding question. So what was that touched you the most from, someone can translate, maybe in Thai, can talk in Thai. What is the things that touched him the most from doing this project? What was the most emotional for him? And then what he hopes to do next?
You know, for this project, I found out that I learned that for it's like we are on the parallel line. We know that the migrant exists, but we don't know them much, and we don't have the cross point. You know, we walk on the parallel line, and for the objective of this project, and with my professional as a photographer, I'm trying to get the point that we cross path together and bring us together to, you know, like to learn something that from the exhibition you can see, you can learn what they do when someone pass away in the other country, and what they do when they fell in love with Thai people. You know, that is the objective of this project. Is say like we try to bridge the gap and connect the dot. And you know, like for this forum, you can see that the photo is just starting something that bring us to talk like far more beyond not only the culture aspect or social aspect, but we come to the policy. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Very deep words. So I think this is a good conclusion for the event. It doesn't end here. I think the story will be published. Also the Bangkok Tribune, this is online platform, will be publishing all the story on their own initiative, and we will also be publishing the story. There are many journalists here also that hopefully will report on this, and the exhibition is going on for 2 more weeks. So please spread the news, and hopefully more people will come. The exhibition will also move, Ben doesn't know this yet, but will also move to Sikon. This is part of a collaboration with the Bangkok Arts and Culture Center, that we can move to a mall, to a very big mall in an area with many migrants. We can move for exhibition a year, and this one has been selected to move to probably towards the end of this year. So some more people will see there, and again, more general public, which is really the purpose of our activities. So there are other activities. Junction is always full, or too many activities. On the 18th, we have a book launch related to Myanmar. And then on the 21st, we have something on censorship in the art. And then we have also update on Myanmar. So don't forget to follow us, because I don't remember all the events that we have. And I am quite old at this stage. Huh? is trying to remind me, but I am not going to tell all the events. You just go to the website and we always send a reminder out, so you cannot miss it. So it's quite a lot this month. So please continue to follow us. Please give a donation on your way out, and you can buy the catalog of this beautiful exhibition and also some postcards to continue to support us. Although this project is funded generously from the Ship to Shore initiative, this fund, your donation help us to continue to do other events that not receive funding. And I invite everyone to cut the ribbon, the red ribbon, to formally open this exhibition. So please follow us. And of course, there is some Myanmar food here on the other end after you walk through the exhibition. Thank you again, and applause for all the speakers.